Anchoring is universal. You can use it for any issue, for any client. I do it with every client. Even if I forgot during the appointment, I'll send them little video. Today, few calls I had to make for potential clients. 6 calls, every single one had anxiety problem. Every single one. All women. I don't know if you're getting those requests. Anxiety.
I feel like everyone I've worked with has brought that up or intertwined that with what they had going on.
Yeah, so our usual things: grounding, deep breath, diaphragmal breath to trigger spine, this big nerve, vagus nerve, being present at the moment, and then stabilizing, bringing more structure into the day routine would help to regulate things, because brain needs predictability. At least some parts that are under your control, they have to be predictable in the same way. What can you do? At least in the morning before the chaos starts. Having quiet breaks throughout the day for the brain to process all the information. Obviously, cutting down the time on social media. Lots of people complain, I can't get off Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or YouTube. But I mean, we're adults, we're not kids. If you have clear priority and clear goal, you understand your desire. What is it you want? You want to feel better? Can you feel better at the same time scroll crazy videos? Do they make you feel better? Probably not. Then it would be schizophrenia to do this and expect to feel better if it already doesn't make you feel better. So that's easy choice. It's even if people say they're addicted to it, it's still easy choice. I want to feel better, but that doesn't make me feel better. It's easy to get off. It doesn't take any willpower or anything. It's just a reminder, what do I actually want? What is my priority right now? What is my goal right now? Easy. So grounding, breathing, learning to count yourself down, earned action, self-hypnosis. You can set anchors. Well, let's do anchors.
I was just going to say, could you maybe do an anchor for the anxiety or something when you're talking about?
We don't want to anchor anxiety. We want the opposite.
Well, sorry, not the anxiety. The grounding to not feel the anxiety.
Unless you have some freak calling you, requesting that. I mean, you don't know anymore, right? You don't know anymore what people want. All right. Yeah. So simple process. I'm gonna do it as though you're my client, so you'll have the whole process. Okay, anchoring is just a simple technique, easy to do. Remember to follow through with the process. Feel what you feel, but remember the steps. You can anchor then anything you want on your own. Anyone can do it. First, we have to choose the anchor. This is classic one. You want to remember what you anchor on which anchor, because if you're going to be playing and doing bunch of them, then you may get confused. But this is a classic one, good starter. It can be anything. Deep breath. Can be like strong blink. Little bite on the lip or a tongue. Something that you can do unnoticeable. For public speakers, I have them doing this because that's very, very good gesture during speech. People are looking at you. That makes you look more sincere. So you're not just trying to soothe your nerves, you're also improving your image. Pinch on a ear lobe, for example, tense fist, tense feet, anything can be done. You can say, even not out loud, doesn't have to be out loud, in your inner voice, certain word. You can use one letter as an anchor. You can use a number or a color. Simply imagine it. We also can anchor ourselves to an object outside of us. You remember we did this with the binders. Every time you open, you'll be fully focused on your studies. You closed, you withdraw yourself, anchoring to the object. All the amulets, talismans, they act as an anchor. We want to anchor a certain state. Piece of jewelry, perfume. I use essential oils for smokers when they need this, whatever they crave, instead of giving in into smoking, they are to rub the oil they have ready and breathe it in. We do it while I'm doing anchoring, and then it works wonders for them. You can anchor yourself to certain drink or a food. You can anchor other people without them knowing it. That's already going into the area of influence. Every time we drink hot chocolate, you feel comfy, as though there are no problems in the world. It works wonders. A special touch that is different in some way from usual touches. Like a special way you touch your husband's ear, for example, or a special way you hug your child and say a certain word. So you can anchor this way. We need 3-4 repetitions of the state. To anchor something, we need to invoke that state. What do you want to anchor? It can be really specific thing. Really specific. Well, relaxation, confidence, bravery, determination, feeling in love, feeling comfortable, or it can be very general. I'm generally feeling good and resourceful. Generally. Okay, let's agree on this. This is how I explain to the clients. I will ask you to remember certain moments in time, which will help you to invoke those feelings and emotions, because you cannot remember something without actually emotionally experiencing it. We're looking for the peak of those emotions. When you feel it, you take a deep breath and you squeeze fingers and you hold it for a bit. And when I'll tell you, relax, open your eyes, you relaxing the fingers and you open your eyes. And then we will take a little break between the cycles that we're going to make. We will repeat it 3 times. I usually do 3, remember something, and 4th, I like to actually involve their imagination. Make up. Remember, for the mind, for subconscious mind, there is no difference whether you actually really experiencing something or are you pretending, imagining. It's the same for the subconscious mind. So we will anchor and then we'll test. Let's do positive in general, right? Good resourceful state in general. Withdraw your focus inwards. Actually, it doesn't really make difference whether you have your eyes open or closed. If you want to really drift back into your beautiful past experiences and relive those moments, maybe that could be helpful to close your eyes for a moment. And remember that moment in time could be recent, could be far back in time, could be in your childhood even. When you had no worries, when it was a day with no pressure, nothing to do, no specific plans, you could just enjoy the day without rushing, without worrying. Maybe it was a weekend or a vacation or a holiday. You could just be with nothing specific to do. Be there now and recreate that moment. Be there completely. Remember the surroundings, the room, the furniture, the colors, the weather, the temperature, the people, if there were any with you at this moment. Be there completely. Perhaps you'll even remember what the air smelled like. Be there and now Remember how you felt. What it felt like to have that freedom when you didn't have to rush, didn't have to worry, when there was no pressure. You could be just in the moment and enjoy that. Simply lie on a couch for a while, maybe read a book without worrying that you have a huge to-do list. And as you remember all of that, not just that sensation going through the body, not just those emotions and feelings coming back to life, bring them to the fullest back to life, revive them, make this moment real again. Go through it. And once you feel it, really feel it, you can squeeze your fingers. Take a deep breath, hold it, squeeze fingers, wait few moments, and exhale and relax the fingers. You can open your eyes. Even doing it once probably helps you to feel a bit more relaxed, more present, right? We're going to repeat it a couple more times. Now remember a happiest moment in your life. Baby was born, you got married, engaged, was the opposite, divorced. For some of us, that was the happiest moment in life. Recreate this experience. Remember what was going on, where you were, how you felt, who was next to you, the weather, the time of the day, the season, the color, the smell of the air, the temperature. Remember it all. Be there completely and make this moment alive again. Live through it. Give yourself that gift. Experience that happiness, that joy, that excitement. Bring it all. And once you really feel it, a deep breath, squeeze the fingers, hold it for a moment. And exhale, relax the fingers, open your eyes. I'm going to do another round. Remember a moment, actually remember a morning, a beautiful morning in your life. We've all had it when you woke up and felt as though you were new, as though you were reborn. You slept so well. You woke up refreshed, recharged, nothing hurt. You're full of energy, ready to spring out of your bed. Felt really, really, really good. As though it was a spring and you woke up from a long, deep sleep, coming back to life. Remember that moment, this beautiful morning. Remember the bedding, the blanket, the pillow, sun seeping through the curtains in your window, fresh air. Remember how well you felt. And once you feel it, take a deep breath and squeeze the fingers again. And exhale, relax the fingers, open your eyes. Usually by that time, my clients cry. You're not up to speed right now. What's going on? I don't see tears and snot. You are crying.
I was yawning. I was yawning.
Now we're going to create one occurrence. Close your eyes and imagine yourself a year from now. This is a point in time where you reached your dream, achieved your goals. You are there now. Really feel that moment. Visualize it. That dream come true. You made it happen. You've reached that. You've created this for yourself. Really be in that moment and feel how you would feel when you got that, when you've created what you wanted, when you've reached your dream. You're in full control. You're happy. You're satisfied. Perhaps in that moment you realize how powerful you are, how strong you are, how capable you are. Really live through that moment. Perhaps you see your loved ones standing next to you, looking at you with admiration and respect, congratulating you. And when you feel it, take a deep breath and squeeze the fingers again. Hold it. Exhale slowly, relax the fingers, open your eyes. Take a few deep breaths, let it all settle in. Now we're going to test it. So this is how we test it. You do not close your eyes, you keep them open. Don't visualize or remember anything, but still pay attention to what's happening with your body, those little subtle sensations. And now squeeze the fingers and notice this pleasant warmth flowing through the body. It's hard to really explain what it is, but you can't. Some people I see cannot help but smile. It's hard to explain, isn't it, what's happening? But it feels good. Yeah? So the more you use it, the stronger it becomes. So I would test it a couple of times with a client. But we can make it even stronger. Imagine that squeeze you can measure, you can put it on the scale from 1 to 10. If you'll test it now, where would that be on the scale? 1, 2, 3. Yours is 9, 6. Okay. But now if you squeeze a bit harder and hold it a bit longer, bring it all the way to the 10. Feel it rising? Yeah? Here's a trick for you. You let it go a little, still keep them together, but release the pressure a little. Now take a deep breath, and as you exhale, squeeze it strong again. Make it tight and let it rise all the way to 100. Feel it all the way through. I'm not sure if that would be appropriate to mix into it a bit of orgasmic energy. Right now. Right now. Add a bit of deliciousness. Feeling it?
It was funny because before you even said like to increase it, when you had us do it again, my mind told me the 6 before, and then my mind went 7 and then 8 immediately. And then when you said, okay, take it to the next level, that had a different even feeling to it. It was like quieter, like, okay, 9 and 10, but it was like the mind was telling me the level, and I could just feel it in the body, feeling more, yeah,
Okay.
delicious and
We can
juicy.
play with this a little more because clients love those things. They're like, they don't understand what's happening. So put whatever hand you used for the anchors, kind of, if you have anything to lean on, put it in front of you this way so you can open it, or on your knee, on your lap, put it. So whatever you had between your fingers when you were anchoring, that good feeling, just let it slip on onto your palm. Involve your imagination, play with this. Just let it slip here and kind of relax your hand. Relax your hand. And that good feeling that is in your palm right now, just bring a bit more of excitement there, more joy, more happiness, or a relaxation if this is what you're looking for. But I wonder, every time you allow yourself to relax, maybe you feel more of excitement about your life in general. Let it grow. And now use your other hand and just drag your finger, your pointer finger, or a few at the same time, doesn't matter, from your palm towards your elbow. This is another scale. 1 is here, 10 is here. Just drag it. Drag that scale, increase that good feeling, or many of them at the same time. I got goosebumps. Drag it all the way to the elbow. But there are no strict rules. The scale doesn't have to end at your elbow or at 10. You can bring it to the shoulder. Shoulder can be maybe 20, 50, or even 100. How much of the pleasantness you can handle at this time? It's okay. Spoil yourself. You deserve it.
When I went to the shoulders, it almost felt like the shoulder was relaxed. Like you could, someone that has like aches and pain, there's holding tension. That'd be like a fun technique to do with them, if they were already
And
having
then
this.
once you brought it all the way up to the shoulder, it's as though you're losing control. It starts to spread on its own everywhere. I'm feeling like a bad girl. Keep your clothing on, ladies.
Guzelia, in the class, you do that with a lady and you do it like she's turning the light on louder and louder and louder, and it's still the same excitement. And you're like, feel that happiness as if it's one of those touch lamps and you're turning it higher and higher. And when I was doing that, I was outside and I could feel the sun getting hotter and hotter, and I was taking my shirt off and my husband's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, nothing. It's funny
Okay.
how your
So,
mind works.
homework. You install because you're going to be playing with this. I suggest at least make a map what you anchoring where. Otherwise, you may accidentally collapse them and get unexpected results. Just make like a drawing of a gingerbread man and put like what you anchor in there and put names. This is for confidence. This is for sleep. This is for just to quiet down mind. Can be used for anything. With men who have problem with erectile dysfunction, I use the same anchor and I put it on a scale. You can attach them to cravings for good, or as opposite, to dim. You can use it for dimming the bad cravings, dimming anger and frustration. And when you do it for others without them knowing, you just don't explain. You wait for that state, to happen naturally. And then you anchor it. And you don't repeat it, obviously, on the same day. You wait for the next occurrence. Your husband's having an orgasm, peak state. You say a magic word into his ear, for example, the word that you don't usually use, or a phrase. Or you touch him in a way you usually wouldn't. Pinching the ear, tugging a hair a little bit, thing you can recreate. So next time, few days later, you're anchoring it. Next time, you want 3-4 times. And then test it like during argument. See what happens.
He's gonna get me to buy all of your programs, Guzelia.
I think you already did, didn't you?
No, he's gonna tell you my turn. It's my turn now for her classes. You already had your turn. I want the.
So how to remove an anchor that you don't want no longer. That's how we, install in our beliefs without knowing it even. So whatever bad thing happened, you experienced and you believe in it. Now you can attach it to actual physical anchor, and then we're going to collapse it. I can show it to you. What do you want to get rid of? Anxiety. We're working on anxiety, right? You know, we will use the same that we installed for good. So remember, this is a good thing. We need two that you can trigger at the same time. I suggest don't use this for negative because this is very commonly you will forget and use it for something else. Let's do like you should be able to trigger both of them at the same time. Let's do like this, and then you can squeeze this. Okay, so don't touch this one yet. Just put your hand like this and create a bit of pressure. Okay, so now let it go. If you're experiencing anxiety right now, minuscule maybe, worry, but just think about your future, it'll come to you. It'll go, economy crash, all the bad possibilities. Let it come. Once you feel it, then you anchor it. Put your hand on your elbow, squeeze it or pressure it a little bit, feel it. Now release. Remember one of the recent occurrences when you really felt the anxiety and let it come back. Don't worry, just for a moment. Feel it. Recreate that experience. Remember how you felt that, that knot coming to the throat, that uneasy, uncomfortable, heavy feeling, that tension. And as you feel it, put your hand on your elbow, squeeze it, pressure it a little bit. And perhaps now you can remember one of your most anxious moments in life. You don't really have to relive the entire experience, just let the feeling come back. Just for a moment, we are luring it into the trap. We're just luring it into the trap. Let it come. Perhaps you've even lost appetite back then. Perhaps you had shakes, sweats, pain. Don't be afraid. Let it come back. And once it's back, seal the trap. Put your hand on your elbow, squeeze it. And now remove that hand. Take a few deep breaths. Open eyes. Open your eyes. Sylvia, release the hand. Let it go. Let it go. You're safe. Okay, now don't touch it. Now squeeze the good one. Squeeze the good one. Easier, right? Quickly, easier, right? Now release that one. Take a few deep breaths. Open your eyes. Keep the eyes open. Here's what you need to do now. You have to do it very quickly, okay? One after another. Don't do it at the same time. You put your hand here, feel it first, and then squeeze. And hold it. Hold both of them. Hold. It might be a bit confusing. And now release from your elbow. Take hand of your elbow. Keep the fingers squeezed. You can even let go of the fingers and then squeeze again. Do a few times. Notice what's happening with the body. We're replacing the feeling of anxiety with the good feelings. Is it confusing? What's inside happening?
Like I've struggled with anxiety being put in very like kind of traumatic situations, like kind of overload to my system. So it was actually like I did feel the confusion of like the body trying to figure out what state, but like there was a calmness to it. I feel like, yeah, if I could tap into that, if I found myself in a stressful situation again, what was coming to mind is like regulating the body instead of it felt like it was regulating. So it actually made me feel very calm and centered, despite also feeling the old feelings. So it was nice.
Mm-hmm.
I felt the same. I felt the confusion. I felt the tears. I felt the yuckiness. And then as soon as I touched the fingers, I could feel it literally going up my whole and like an ice bath, just kind of still feeling the anxiety of it, but being in a more restful position with it.
Our brain can focus only on one thing, one idea or one belief or one feeling at the same time. So we're replacing the bad feeling with a good feeling. The same way you can replace bad craving for wrong food, donuts, for example, or a person that needs to quit coffee, but maybe they love coffee very much, but the doctor says they cannot have it anymore. So you install in first anchor, and then you can install positive anchor afterwards, but we already had one installed. You can use it this way, but then you can replace it. For example, craving for spinach or whatever they need to eat, or if they need to replace coffee with tea, green tea, for example, or water, you install another anchor and you do it in the same way. You can test few times. Did the bad one you've installed, do they feel it? Do they feel good one? And then, so like really quick, you do one and then you do another quickly and you hold few times and you release the negative one and you do few more times on the positive.
So would you do this on a separate session?
Takes few minutes. Yeah. I would do that before going into hypnosis. Whatever
Okay.
I've done there, I would
And
reinforce throughout the hypnosis session. I can even say, now you have this beautiful tool. Now you have this weapon.
Mhm.
Squeeze those fingers, I will reinforce them. Squeeze those fingers and feel this, all this goodness, deliciousness coming up.
Perfect.
Feel the calmness, the comfort, the confidence, the stability. You can do it on your perfume that you use usually. So every time you're about to leave the house, you spray yourself and how you do you want to feel confident or in control? Or like you're ready to cut anyone's throat. What do you need to feel like when you're going
Isn't it
so
funny
people?
how our mind automatically does that? Like, you smell a certain scent and maybe that was an ex-boyfriend that you're not too happy with. If you go into a drugstore or a store that has and all of a sudden you smell that, you like
Smell,
Christmas time.
yeah,
Oh, I smell gingerbread, so let's go spend money. Yeah, it's
yeah.
all
That is one of the strongest one would be olfactory on the aromas and smells.
Mhm.
The you know with anchoring or not anchoring, of course, would make it even stronger, but just the smell of baked goods in the house calms everyone. Fresh, especially yeast bread is the best. All kids, husband, everybody is going to be calm if you have it in the house. See, everybody's generally much more calm. Vanilla is really good too for that. But yeast bread is the best.